This is beautiful. This is nice. Take it all in for a second. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you all for being here. Thank you for coming. I'm joined today by Senator John Ossoff, who secured a wonderful grant for us, which we will talk about a lot more in a little bit. I'm also joined here by my Chief Operating Officer, Lisa Gordon, as well as City Councilman Jason Dozier, as well as Commissioner of Atlanta DOT, Solomon Cavanes, who's just started recently, as well as the Executive Director of Propel Atlanta, Rebecca Cerna, as well as our Council Member, Amir Faroki, and our Deputy COO, Kajwal Atta. So we're all joined here today because Atlanta City Council Member Jason Dozier, whose resolution allowed us, the City of Atlanta, to apply for this grant. And together we all worked on it. Gotta let that pass by. This is part of the hazards of doing it outside. You come with the various amounts of things. But we're here this afternoon with good news. Good news as Atlanta gets to move forward with our transportation goals. The federal Safe Streets and Roads for All program was established by bipartisan infrastructure law last year. And our senior senator from Georgia is here to tell us all about the $30 million in federal money that Atlanta will receive. Senator Ossoff.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor Dickens. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Councilman, it's great to see you. Mayor, great to see your team here. Councilman, great to be here with you. Commissioners, all who are in attendance. This is a big day for the City of Atlanta. And I want to thank Senator Warnock, Representative Williams, and most of all, the mayor, the council, and your teams for putting Atlanta in a position to win through the bipartisan infrastructure law. We passed the bipartisan infrastructure law in this most recent Congress to upgrade roads, bridges, pedestrian and bike facilities, to expand broadband internet access, to upgrade our seaports, our airports, to replace aging water infrastructure, and that work is ongoing all across the state of Georgia. I want to emphasize that we passed this legislation with bipartisan support in the U.S. Congress, and that matters in times like these when things can seem so divided, that the two major political parties can put aside our differences and come together in the public interest and in the national interest. And today we're here to announce that through the bipartisan infrastructure law, thanks to the mayor's hard work, thanks to the council's hard work, and I want to in particular commend Councilman Dozier for your leadership in the council on this, moving that resolution through the process. My team and I were able to play a supportive role in ensuring that $30 million are on the way to the City of Atlanta for the purposes of making pedestrian and bike access and pedestrian safety improvements to connect neighborhoods across the South Side. These are going to be major pedestrian and bike improvements along Pryor Street and Central Avenue to connect the South Side Beltline with neighborhoods across the south side of town. This will improve passenger and pedestrian safety. This will make these areas more navigable by foot and on bicycle and improve quality of life as well as opportunities for small businesses in the City of Atlanta. So again, the major news today, through the bipartisan infrastructure law, $30 million coming to the city to improve pedestrian and bike access across the south side of town, connecting the South Side Beltline Trail with communities in downtown Atlanta, with a particular focus on Pryor Street and Central Avenue, thanks to the tireless efforts of Mayor Andre Dickens, the Atlanta City Council, and our bipartisan efforts in the United States Congress. So now, Mayor, I think I'm going to welcome you back up to the microphone. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and thanks for all your help.
Thank you. Good deal. So thank you, Senator, for that. Let's give him another round of applause and for all the work that they do. He and Senator Warnock are really making us proud. The senior senator from Georgia standing on this stage here at City Hall feels good, y'all. To have that type of great relationship together. The City of Atlanta is really excited for this opportunity that makes Atlanta's streets safer for everyone. This goes back to when you think about in 2021 in Atlanta, there were nearly 30,000 crashes in our city. 30,000. Also in 2021, 83 people unfortunately lost their lives here in Atlanta due to traffic crashes that may have been preventable. Along Central and Pryor, these roads that we're talking about right now, we had nearly 2,000 crashes over the last 5 years. So what we're dealing with here and what we're working on really matters. It's an attempt to really save lives, and I believe that the work that you'll see us complete will indeed help reduce the number of crashes that occur. The Central Avenue and Pryor Safe Streets project would transform two of Atlanta's most dangerous high crash corridors, and that will provide protected accommodations. People want to see that these bike lanes and infrastructure are protected. That's for our most vulnerable users, our pedestrians as well as our cyclists. The project also connects the south side of Atlanta, as Senator Ossoff mentioned, the South Side Beltline directly to Atlanta's downtown, including destinations such as our government center like here, as well as our jobs, to rail and to transit stations, including Georgia State University and other downtown parks and destinations. This is going to help us be more connected. The city is continuing to advance in its Vision Zero goals. As you remember, when I was a city council member and the transportation committee chairman, we created the Vision Zero plan, and we're moving that forward today. Our goal is Vision Zero is to reduce crashes overall, but to ultimately eliminate severe injury and fatalities. Pedestrians and bicyclists are often the most susceptible to these type of severe crashes. Successful completion of projects such as the Central and Pryor Safe Streets will help us move closer to realizing zero, and I mean zero, traffic-related fatalities on our city streets. This project was included in our Moving Atlanta Forward infrastructure package, where our voters committed more than $10 million towards this project. And this $30 million award from the U.S. DOT creates an opportunity to make the project even better than originally scoped. This funding will go towards developing a final concept and design for the corridors, as well as construction and related activities. The project also supports the city's climate and sustainability goals, which is why we're here on this green roof today, by offering alternatives to transportation modes that have been big emitters of greenhouse gases. Also, a reminder that we unveiled another complete street this past summer with the $30 million MLK Innovation Corridor. That corridor spans more than 7 miles from Northside Drive to Fulton Industrial and came about after years and years of planning. Our goal was to transform MLK Jr. Drive into a pedestrian and bicycle-friendly corridor that provides better access to the Beltline and to MARTA bus service. And I also like to acknowledge Ryan Hirsch, who's here with us today. And Ryan is an innovator whose Edison Bicycle Company came about after Ryan saw how much time he was spending on his commute each morning. Edison is the only e-bike built here in Atlanta. And Ryan, yeah, we can clap for that. And, you can see 2 lovely models of that here today. We are proud of Ryan and the company he has growing here. The city of Atlanta is committed to pedestrian and cycling infrastructure, including this growing e-bike segment. Thank you again to Senator Ossoff for the awesome job he's doing supporting Georgia and the city of Atlanta that he lives in. Our senator lives in our city, y'all, so that's great. Both of them do. And we appreciate the U.S. DOT saw value in all these projects that we're talking about today. So I'm excited, and I thank you all. Now, I'll bring up our council member, Councilman Dozier. Come on up, Jason.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Councilmember Jason Dozier. I am so thrilled and ecstatic about this project, not only because I represent the communities that this investment is going to be going towards, but I live in the communities that this investment is going towards. I've been a resident of the Mechanicsville community for the last 8 years, and not only am I an avid cyclist, but I am the father to a future cyclist. And so I see projects like this not only making our families' lives better, but lives for many of our residents, our pedestrians, our bus riders. Just this past weekend, we celebrated Transit Equity Day across the country and here in the city of Atlanta. And if you've ever been along those corridors and tried to get on a MARTA bus, it's not the best place in the world if you're a pedestrian. This is going to change that. This is going to be transformative for people's lives. Unfortunately, previous generations of Atlanta's leadership, of Georgia's leadership, of our country's leadership did not see our communities in the way we see them today. We have communities that were built or destroyed for cars, and this changes that in a transformative way. I can see skyscrapers from my front porch, but I can't walk to City Hall. Residents in my community have to travel next to interstates and railroads and car sewers like Central and Pryor, and this changes that. So we're excited. I'm thankful for the mayor's leadership. I'm thankful for our WILD team, Senator Warnock and Senator Ossoff and Congresswoman Williams. I'm thankful for Secretary Buttigieg. I'm thankful for President Biden for investing in communities like Mechanicsville. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you, and we look forward to making safe streets available and accessible for everyone. So thank you once again.
And now the guy that has to deliver. So a little history. I'm an Atlanta native, was born and raised in the city, left 21 years, and to hear that U.S. government, U.S. DOT sees the opportunity and the importance of Atlanta delivering on a project like this is a major change for this city and from when I left. So I appreciate the opportunity to be speaking on behalf of the city, representing the mayor and Councilmember Dozier. Thank you, Senator, and all my colleagues. One thing I've recognized since being here is the partnerships. Atlanta is committed to the partnerships for the betterment of its residents. So for that, I say thank you to all those, and you'll hear more about those partnerships as we move forward. But as the newly appointed Commissioner of Atlanta Department of Transportation, I want to thank Senator Ossoff again for your commitment in supporting multimodal safety in the city of Atlanta. As Mayor Dickens stated, these funds will help breathe life into the city's commitment, especially in the area of roadway analysis, redesign, and Atlanta's most dangerous street corridors. Already prioritized in the $450 million Moving Atlanta Forward program, the Pryor and Central Street project will be significantly expanded for the improved safety and accessibility of the city's pedestrians and bicyclists and most vulnerable users. Walking, bicycling connections on the north and south ends of the project will be more logical and significant. There'll be also safer, more substantial concrete protections for vehicle traffic, more lighting, safe mid-block crossings where needed, and much, much more. These federal funds will take our original project from safe to truly best in class. So with that, I just want to say thank you to my team and all the work they did to make this happen. Betty, Doug, John, and of course our interim or Commissioner Emeritus, Marsha Bomar. But I just want to thank everyone for being here and supporting this important initiative for the residents of this city. This is an opportunity for us to take it to the next level. Thank you. Again, Solomon Cavanis, Atlanta DOT Commissioner and deliverer on this project.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rebecca Serna, and I'm the Executive Director at Propel ATL. We're a nonprofit dedicated to making streets safe and accessible for people walking, biking, using transit, and all modes of sustainable transportation. I'm joined here today by two of my colleagues, Sagira and Jeremiah, and our team works hard every day to put people first on Atlanta streets. I'm very excited to be here today. When we talk about designing and building streets, we should first talk about making safe travel the #1 priority on our streets all of the time. Not building safe streets, accessible streets, has dangerous consequences. Brittany Glover moved to Atlanta for her job as a flight attendant in September of last year. As her mother told Atlanta City Council 2 months later, she came here Friday and she was dead by Sunday. Brittany was a young woman pursuing her dreams. Her future was cut short when an unknown driver stepped into their car, sped down Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway, ran over Miss Glover, and never looked back. In 2020, the city of Atlanta took a key first step towards preventing this kind of loss of life on our streets when the Atlanta City Council Transportation Committee, led by now Mayor Andre Dickens, adopted a simple goal. No one dies trying to get somewhere in Atlanta. Tragically, like many other U.S. cities, the number of pedestrians killed in Atlanta has increased each year since then. And according to Smart Growth America, Black pedestrians are twice as likely as white pedestrians to be killed while walking. We know this to be true in Atlanta, where the majority of people who are killed while walking are Black. Today, we're here to celebrate momentum in a new direction, where race or income will not determine someone's safety when taking a walk. The federal government's leadership for safer streets is essential if we're to shift our focus on designing streets to maximize speed of vehicles through our neighborhoods, to a focus on getting our neighbors where they need to go using all modes of transportation, including walking, biking, scooting, taking transit, using wheelchairs, getting them to their destinations and back home to their loved ones safely. Brittany Glover and so many others should be here celebrating with us today, but they're not, just because they crossed the street to get to the bus stop, rode a bike, or walked home. I look forward to the day when we're here again on this rooftop to celebrate the first year of 0 traffic deaths, 0 people killed as they move throughout Atlanta. Thank you, Senator Ossoff, for embracing the vision of streets safe for all kinds of mobility and for the significant federal investment in that vision. Thank you, Mayor Dickens, Councilmember Jason Dozier, and Atlanta City Council members for taking us on this journey towards safe streets for all of Atlanta. It's up to all of us to make this happen. Thank you.
All right, you heard from everybody. So are there any other questions from the media? Yes. Actually, Solomon, are you ready to answer questions about start date? I mean, did the check you got the check with you, Ossoff? No, yeah, if we don't know yet, do
We're not sure at this point.
Yeah. When
the commissioner's in a better position to give timelines when they're available on construction. What I can assure the mayor is that my office will be working to expedite the disbursement of these funds from the Department of Transportation. I spoke earlier today with Secretary Buttigieg about a range of issues of concern to Georgia, so we will work to get these resources to the city as swiftly as possible, and then it'll be in the city's hands in terms of construction timeline.
And to clarify, it's $10 million, approved, and then this is an extra $30 million, so $3 million
Yeah.
higher.
Correct, absolutely. So $10 million was approved by voters in the Moving Atlanta Forward infrastructure bill that we did, mid last year. And so this is a $30 million additive onto that. And I do want to thank the Biden administration as well as Secretary Buttigieg for always considering Atlanta. We've been recipients of some great grants, and so we want to keep that going.
We don't let them forget.
And that's right. Also, the WOW team, as you said, won't let them forget Warnock, Ossoff, and Williams. Any other questions? All right, good deal. Thank you all for being here. Want to take a photo? Where were you saying? Over here? Okay.